fact, it was the very last thing that I had to add to that book. I mean, I wrote the book, and then in galleys, between the copy editing and proofreading, she hanged herself on Thanksgiving Day. And some transgender people have been a little irked by the presentation of people in that group. It makes people seem more than a little maladjusted. I will say they're probably not any more maladjusted than other people I know in other support groups for other things. It's no wonder that trans people, I mean, if you think about what trans people are up against, what they've kept inside their whole lives, and then having to deal with all of the 8 zillion things that are involved in going through a transition, it's a wonder that, you know, we're not all crazy. There's an unfortunate thing, which is that the media tends to put trans people on shows. Usually, there's only one kind of trans person and only one moment in their transition that is seen in the media. It's usually a male to female, transsexual, about age 40, usually white, upper middle class with a lot of spending money. And I mean, I know there are other examples of people out there, but that's the story. That's kind of the archetype that gets that story gets told again and again and again and again until people think that's the only story out there. And also, we tend to see people on those shows, usually right in the midst of their transition, people who are very, very vulnerable. And it's a real disservice that's done to trans people to be forever frozen in the public eye as these kind of startled, frightened, oddly adolescent, middle-aged people. Because what usually happens is that, you know, people get through their transitions, and a lot of things settle down for them, and they become familiar to themselves once again in the way that everybody else is familiar with their own bodies by the time they reach the age of 40. At any rate, those are also often the same people that you see in support groups. So I felt a little bad at maybe perpetuating a stereotype, but at the same time, they were the people who were in my support group. So that's the story that I had to tell. And to some extent, I think they provided a good cautionary countertale to the one that I was telling, because, you know, you could get, if the story in She's Not There was the only story you knew about, you might well think that most transsexual women you know, never lose their jobs, never lose their families, never lose the people they're married to, that generally everyone is really kind and understanding.